Hello and good morning. Let's begin with our Aries new moon reading. As I've been tuning into this energy present, it's been very vibrant and yet very stirring. There is a sense that all things are possible when we're able to be still and to listen to the intelligence within, whether it's the body intelligence or it's the higher mind. There is a presence right now that is guiding us in this creative time. And as we move into spring, it is all about vitality and creation and imagination, fertility, and resurrection. So let's go ahead and dive in and just see what might be present for us individually and as the collective whole. So for the collective whole, I am pulling from the Sacred Flames deck. And a lot of healing present for the collective. There's a road, a decision, a path that leads us ultimately to greater wholeness and healing. And while this is true collectively and individually always, it seems to be that there is a doorway present, a time where this is much easier as we're in the new moon energy. It is the time of new beginnings and creation. If there has been a thing that you feel that you just haven't been able to accomplish that is part of what you see as your healing journey, this time is elevated for you to make those changes. So the card here is, in the process of transforming your consciousness and your physical body, you are integrating higher, more subtle vibrations and higher light. Your body will become more refined, more beautiful, limitless, and immortal. And this speaks of the light body, our spiritual self. As we engage in spiritual practice, in meditation, in yoga, in time in nature, in mindfulness, in reverence of our vessel, in loving presence and service of others, this stimulates and generates the integrity of the light body. It generates light and spiritual welfare. And in that light body, as we build that, this relates to immunity in the physical body. As our vibration raises, there are certain lower vibrations that no longer can exist within our field, but it must be fortified. This happens from continual and consistent spiritual practice in one way or another. So this is a fantastic card to see for the collective, that we are rising collectively, going through this ascension process, even if it doesn't seem like it, even if there are distractions in the world. And let's move forward with seeing what some of those distractions might be. We seem to always get the going beyond cards when we do these readings. This is from the Untethered Soul deck. And this card came up last time too. Would you like to go beyond yourself? Would you like to feel no edges? So what part of you has in the past believed that it wasn't possible to achieve whatever this health, healing, wholeness goal is? This desire for a deeper satisfaction, the longing of our heart, the place that has felt like something is missing. It's because part of you has felt separate and therefore missing the connection, the quality of connection that only comes from spiritual practice. The other card is you are not your thoughts. You are simply aware of your thoughts. So this indicates the importance of generating mindfulness. And the best way that we can do that is through meditative practice. The meditative practice brings us into the slowness, the stillness, and even suspends time so that whenever we get into our activity through the day, there is a moment that can occur where time is suspended and we can choose. That free will is a conscious choice. Instead of moving into the old patterns, being drawn into the same emotional conflict with ourselves or with the outer world. The call is to be more meditative in your daily life. Institute that practice. This is the perfect time to institute new practices for health and welfare. And this is always going to come from your spiritual health. So whether it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe it's incremental. You know, we can work our way up to these larger periods of time that we're sitting in meditation or practicing meditation. It doesn't always have to be seated. It can be moving meditation like yoga. It can be breath work. It could be a guided meditation with visualization. It can be walking in nature. But the intention, you have to plant the intention. The intention is what imbues whatever you're doing with that creative force. Your presence is what allows that to manifest. So consider what it is that you can do right now, this week, in this cycle, that feels like it's going to take you a little bit to your edge, to your discomfort. But you know it's the discomfort that comes with creation, with producing, with growth. We build up a lot of resistance to the natural flow of life. So is there some place that you've built up resistance to mindfulness? Maybe it's getting back in the gym. Maybe it's taking some time to really review what you're consuming and taking the time to prepare your meals. Or maybe it is having that prayer or that meditative place in your day, in your morning, in your evening. It's time to sit with a loved one without any kind of distractions from your phone or from the TV. Being present with your food. How often do we sit with our meal and consciously consume it and let it be a very powerful connection with what it is that we are bringing into our vessel and honoring? Would you like to go beyond yourself? Find your edge. Press up against the places that you've had resistance. It's going to be easier right now to do that. And then stay consistent. Create the space in your daily life to be consistent with it. There is nothing more important than your spiritual welfare. Everything else blossoms, blooms from that. Your physical health, your emotional well-being, your mental health, all of these things come from the anchor of the spiritual well-being. So let's see some ways that we might be able to make that happen, and things that we could encounter in the resistance. And for any of you that might be new to my channel, there is often, I often speak about the assistance that's always present, and you can refer to them in whatever way feels aligned for you. That could be angels, guardians, guides, ascended masters, saints, teachers, beings of light, whatever works for you. But with this deck, it is an angel deck. So that's what we're going to use to reference these energies that assist in humanity's overall healing and ascension. So what we got is Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is the archangel of protection. He's associated with the color blue, and he shows up with a sword. He is the great protector of human beings, of the earth. And anytime that you feel threatened, you may have energetic cords, you have boundaries that you're afraid are going to be crossed or have been crossed. You feel like you have absorbed something that is negative and affecting you negatively. Archangel Michael is your guy. Archangel Michael is able to use that sword to cut away the things that don't serve us anymore too. So if you have something going on in your life, some habit or some relationship that really just is not serving and taking you towards your goal, you can call in Archangel Michael and ask for his assistance. Just saying, Archangel Michael, I ask for you to come in and to cut away any bondage that is keeping me held into this thought pattern or into this unhealthy relationship or whatever the situation might be. It is an energy, a divine presence that helps us to align with the own sovereignty of our being. So I like to think of them as God's right hand beings, or a dissemination of God, a quality of God that is represented as an entity. It's easier for us as humans to connect by having some kind of points of reference and definition of these qualities of energy, of divine energy. So call upon those energies that help you to cut away all of the things that aren't serving you in this path moving forward in healing and enlightenment. The other card is integrity. And man, has this been really in my awareness lately, the call to integrity. And what does integrity mean? I made a video about this several months ago. And integrity, we think about this as doing the right thing. Doing the right thing when no one's looking. Like, what does that look like for you? Does that just mean like standing in the grocery store and the person in front of you drops their money and you pick it up and make sure to give it back? Or could integrity have totally other meanings? Integrity also refers to wholeness of a structure. And when I think of integrity, I think about our alignment, our inner alignment with Source. Are we in integrity with that divine intelligence? The parts of us, the divine intelligence in the body, and also the spiritual messages that we receive through our emotional field, are we in integrity with them? Is some part of your ego grabbing towards that relationship, or maybe it's that substance to avoid something else, right? but there's a part of you that feels that that is not aligned, feels that that is taking you away from your destination. So can you bring that into integrity? Can you bring the will of the self in alignment with the will of the soul? Can you work with the resistance that you feel of being in alignment? This card says, align your actions so that they match your values and inner knowingness of what's right for you. It's a great time to slow down and really notice, am I behaving, thinking, and doing the things that are true to me? Or am I acting out in some way? Am I too involved in my own story and allowing it to distort the way that I'm showing up in presence, in action for myself and in my daily walk? So my last pull, this one's always very deep, and my favorite deck. It is the Earth Warrior Oracle deck from Kauai. It always feels extremely powerful. Pachamama, Pachamama, the Great Mother, Divine Mother Earth. Such a exquisite art. So there's a lot here. I'm just taking it all in. All of the elements of creativity and life are available for us right now. Just major life changes can happen at this time. This is like a portal that can allow you to alter the trajectory of the rest of your life this spring. So I'm going to let you look at this because it's just so beautiful. Pachamama, Earth Goddess. And let's see the reference for this. Pachamama, the goddess of the earth, honored by the indigenous peoples of the Andes, holds space for many different creatures to live within her field, including the beauty, the danger, and the divine humanity. She knows that life thrives through diversity. She is able to foster life with such genius and generosity because there is no fear preventing her from holding space for the new to emerge. Be open to the new and the different in yourself and in your life. Trust like the Earth Mother as an act of devotion. She is watching over you as you evolve to manifest the fullness of your sacred and original life purpose. Coming back to your time on the earth, physically being out in the elements, on the earth, in the sun, in the water, in nature, letting yourself be embraced by these natural currents of creative and destructive force, of the life cycle. This will help to tune you back to your original blueprint. It will help to fine-tune your intuitive senses to be able to hear. It is a time to reconnect with your natural being by being immersed in all of the gifts of nature. Don't hold back from what is happening. Things need to change, so let them change. It may seem chaotic or overwhelming right now. However, when you realize that you don't need to figure it all out, you will relax, allowing the wisdom of what is happening at a deeper level to unfold. Trust that your inner resources are enough and you will grow to meet your needs for soul expression in the world. You may sometimes feel like you are juggling too many projects with too few arms. The Divine Mother can help you if you trust her to keep an eye on things and guide the process for you. This oracle indicates that peace and harmony will eventually triumph over conflict and challenge, bringing about a new way of being. So stay the course, stay the path, make a commitment this week. Make a commitment to yourself, to your connection back with Spirit. How is it that the boundless diversity of nature interacts as an extraordinary and harmonious ecosystem, rather than dropping into a melee of competing interests, destructive conflict, or soul-deadening copycat conformity? It is all a question of holding space for it. The more diverse the input into any field, the more potential there is for conflict, yes, but also for creative innovation. Through our differences, we can bring out the best in each other. We could also allow differences to bring out the worst in each other. If we do allow them to close us down out of fear, we stifle the uniqueness of the soul. If we cannot hold space for increasing diversity, we risk extinguishing our creative passion for originality, and the energy, excitement, and evolution that uniqueness evokes will be lost. Those of us in positions of spiritual leadership and sacred guardianship desire a more vitalizing outcome for our communities. That means we need to tend to the way that we hold space. For such an invisible concept, holding space has an extraordinary power. To tap into that power, we need to understand that we cannot hold for another what we cannot hold for ourselves. And this is so true about the way that we are present with other people. The quality and depth of our ability to be with someone else, both in their pain and in their joy, and allow it, is a remarkable gift to offer someone and also to receive. In Buddhist wisdom teachings, it is said that without compassion for the self, there cannot ever truly be compassion for another. Modern psychology teaches us that we cannot love another before learning how to love ourselves. This is empowering. It means that we can grow as capable new world leaders and guardians of communities through the work that we do within. This is how the new world emerges, is by us coming back to ourselves. How are we presenting ourselves to ourselves when we come into the world? How do we meet ourselves when we go into the world? And then we have a judgment that arises about the way that we took action or the thought that we have. Are we developing a sense of presence with ourselves and holding space for us to be human? For us to make mistakes, for us to have that thought or have that feeling or that urge or that action? Can we meet it from the place of a Divine Mother and say, okay, I see you're in pain. I see you're suffering. I love you. Let's try to do it different next time. No condemnation, no attachment, no disappointment because of expectation. It is reassuring to remember that the more we can hold space for ourselves, the more we become a presence in which others can also flourish. As you do your inner work, your presence can create sacred space that is constructive, potent, and transformative. Like ripples in the pond of consciousness, which emanate outward from the center, the space you hold within can create a freeing and uplifting consciousness. Palpable in its effect, this will have a potential reach far beyond what you expect. As we grow in our role of sacred guardianship on this planet, the space we hold for ourselves and the world becomes more potent and important. That space can become a way for diversity to be either a beautiful orchestra or a cacophony of chaos. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. The outcome depends on our ability to hold a sacred feminine presence that allows for differences to be integrated into oneness, whilst understanding that oneness has nothing to do with sameness. You have the ability to bring great life to the souls of this world through honoring your own soul journey. Don't underestimate the importance of your inner work or the healing effect it initiates in the world. What an extraordinary reading. This feels like a great priming for what can occur collectively and personally this spring. Your greatest dreams, hopes, these seeds can be planted and grow quickly, tremendously, at a rate that you never could have imagined. I thank all of the divine guidance that was present here in this channeled reading. For all of you that witness and take this out into the world and that change your lives by becoming the change. Thank you. At the end of this video, you will also see up in the top hand corner, there is a suggested ritual and healing practice that comes from these cards. And for this particular card, this particular cycle, it's really powerful. So I highly suggest to watch that video when you have the space and the time to create that ritual. Sorry, my kitty is over there wanting to go outside. Thank you again, and I look forward to tuning in with you all again for the next full moon. And the first 3 people to leave a comment at the bottom will receive a free personalized reading sent to them privately. If you haven't already, please, if you enjoy this, give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, share, and stay pure. Keep it simple. Pura vida.